Today, RJ and I are talking about flower power on Behind the Bloom. In this companion podcast to episode 108, Flower Power, who doesn't need some flower power in their life these days? I'll teach you how to petal it forward with flowers. I'll share my favorite fundraiser, the Flower Power Challenge, and even get a flower tattoo. Time to power up with flowers. Flowers are truly powerful. Their ability to deliver self-help, including health and wellness benefits, have been proven over and over again through several scientific studies. Having flowers in our personal space reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and can even help us recover faster when we're sick. There's so many great reasons to include flowers. Stop by your local flower seller and get yourself some flower power today. Our friends at Cal Flowers are proud sponsors of Jay Schwanke's Life in Bloom and Behind the Bloom podcast, where flowers and wellness go hand in hand.
Hey, Jay.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Are you ready for some flower power?
I am. This was such a fun episode, and I am so ready for some flower power.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. It's a good one. There's lots of good
Yeah.
memories with this show, too. So, yeah.
Before we get into the episode, though, do you want to start off with a tip?
Absolutely. So this one's called The Shortcut. It's tip 193 in the Bloom 365 book. The section is arrangements, tips, and tricks and ideas. When you cut something, people will bring that bouquet home from the grocery store, and sometimes they'll even leave the sleeve on it, and they'll just cut this much off the bottom and put it in a vase. And it doesn't look the same. And then maybe they'll take that cellophane off, and then those branches spread out, and then they're like, ugh, I don't like this. One of the things that's the most important thing to remember is the shortcut is a shortcut to arranging flowers. And it's also your friend. Because as you keep those flower stems more gathered together, you get more impact out of that bouquet, right? As those flowers are closer together. So if you cut it shorter, there isn't a longer stem that's going to allow it to splay out of that vase, and the shortcut keeps them all gathered around the top neck of the vase. It makes you really look like an expert. It really does. And so and I know people are like, well, I bought this arrangement and it's, 18. That's because all of the people who make those bouquets are required by wherever they sell them to keep those stems long. So they can get more bunches in buckets when the stems are long. But that's also why when there's fewer bouquets in there, that one of those will fall out on the floor, and you might see it in the grocery store. It's just laying there on the floor.
Yeah.
So that is also why you want to shorten up that stem. So the shortcut is your friend. Sometimes I just will take that bundle and I'll just cut off probably 8 or 10 inches off of the bottom of that and then drop it in the vase. And it still looks great because all those flower heads are clustered together.
Oh, cool. I love that.
The shortcut.
I have this dried flower arrangement in my apartment that I look at every day, and I see way too much stem. And I need to go back. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You should do it. And you know what? If it was dried, I would take it and gather all those blooms up so that you know how they look together in a grouping. And then hold them up next to the vase and measure it so that it's going to hit just right above where that neck is. And then cut it off. And it'll be all in there all pretty. Mass flower arranging is more appealing to everyone. And it's something that that's a Martha Stewart trend that stuck with everyone, is having those mass flowers together and not having a lot of foliage in there with them. We can completely dictate back to her.
Oh, interesting.
She dictated mass floral design and that it was easy to do. And that's what makes it easy to do, because there's not a flaw like if you're trying to do Ikebana or do a contemporary style arrangement or a formal Hogarth. That's hard to do. But mass flower arranging is very easy.
Everything just kind of fits in.
Absolutely.
Well, so I'm excited for the companion episodes, our flower power.
Yes.
Yeah, this was such a cool episode to watch. I love just, going back and watching all these, everything's a little different the way that you do it. And I love you kind of have this intro at the beginning. Yeah, the intro was very informative, but very interesting, talking about kind of the history of flower power. And you talked about Allen Ginsberg coining the term flower power.
It's true.
In the 60s. And yeah, it was fun. All these different kind of little facts that you put out there.
You were not alive in the 60s.
No.
So this really truly is history for you.
Yeah.
One of my favorite pictures from Life magazine, I'd go over to Carnation Joe and Lily's home. It was a mid-century modern look home. And I would go over there to do my homework and then wait for my mom and dad to get done at the store at 9 o'clock. So we would all go to dinner together. And Grandma and Grandpa would be having their cocktails and I would be doing my homework. And then if I got done with my homework, I could look at the Life magazines. I don't know if it even will ring true with you, but there's a picture of someone putting a daisy in a gun.
Yes, yeah, I'm familiar.
That has been in my brain my entire life.
Oh,
And I always
cool.
say to everyone, that would have been me. I would
Oh,
have been
yeah.
putting the flower in the gun
Yeah.
because I think that flowers are powerful and that they cure so many evils in the world. And it was Ginsberg, and it was because of his poetry at that point in time. And it's also, that's where the peace sign came from, and all of that stuff is really reminiscent. And that was why we did the peace sign at the beginning of the show. And so it's stop motion photography. Now it's interesting. We did it backwards. What you see on the show is that clip backwards.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So you shot it in
so I
reverse?
took painstakingly made that peace sign, and then we started filming, and I took a flower away. And,
Oh, okay.
so they'd start the film, stop the film, take a flower
Wow.
away, start the film. So as it builds itself into a peace sign in this show, actually, it was disappearing. So,
Oh.
just a little filmology that Chris and
Y
Keith are so great at, but yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I really like the way that that looked, and I really like the way that it came together. So I think
Yeah.
that we have, you were here.
Right.
We have a peace sign on our front porch now
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
built by my friend Zach.
Yeah, I was there when you guys were hanging it up.
I
Yeah.
love the peace sign.
Yeah. Oh.
I really I mean, the peace sign means a lot to me.
Mm.
And I know that some people may have different feelings about it, but for, peace would be the greatest thing in the whole world.
Yeah.
Peace is wonderful.
Well, so in addition to that, you talked too just about like the different scientific studies, which you talked about before, but just, the benefits of flowers. And I feel like that all falls in line with peace too, but just like all the health benefits of having flowers. Homes with flowers have less arguments.
Absolutely. And it was really important at that point in time for everyone to realize that our show was about the health and wellness benefits of flowers. That is our mission statement. Our mission statement is to share the health and wellness benefits with flowers that happen with flowers with everyone on public television. That's our job. This one also included the Society of American Florists Petal It Forward.
Yeah.
Okay, so that happens every October. The concept behind Petal It Forward is that florists go out onto the streets and they give people 2 bunches of flowers. Okay. And
Okay.
those 2 bunches of flowers, one is for them to keep and one is for them to give away so that they can experience 2 things, that they can experience getting flowers and that they can experience giving flowers away. And there's 2 different things that happen. When you get flowers, you release dopamine. When you give flowers, you secrete endorphins that your body enjoys. So those 2 things happen. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this is that with Pedal It Forward, I love the idea. I love the idea, okay? And I'm crazy about it. And I've done it for many years. But there's this guy in Britain. He's a TV celebrity.
Oh, okay.
And he goes out on the street now and he gives away bunches of florists and he sees people on the street who are distant and who are walking along who are older or maybe are disabled or hurt and he walks up to them and he says, "I wanted to give you these flowers today and tell you how beautiful you are."
Oh.
And their faces light up. And he always has to convince them that they don't have to buy them, that they just get them from him. And he just tells them that they're beautiful. And they tell stories about why they needed those flowers that day. It's always like that, RJ. It's like that wherever I go and whenever I do this.
Oh,
It's the
cool.
people who get the flowers need them. The flowers sometimes know, and I'm simply a catalyst that makes that happen. It's like that Bette Midler song, too, about hello in there. And I feel like we don't see people all the time and see what's going on with them. And giving a little old person, and he does this with men and women. So giving an old person flowers and telling them they're beautiful is so, so ripe for our world right now.
Yeah.
And it's just Pedal It Forward. I feel like a little bit like Pedal It Forward's a little too much responsibility. I would like to see Pedal It Forward maybe next year. Just give flowers to people and tell them that they're beautiful rather than giving them a responsibility of giving them to someone else. And I understand Pedal It Forward or paying it forward. That's what it's from. So you got free flowers, you give free flowers to somebody else. I get that. But I think sometimes things evolve and things have to change. And I would love to see that change, that it's simply gifting something to someone and being kind to them. I watch this guy. I subscribe to this guy on Instagram, and I'll try and find it and put in the links for everybody. I just love watching it. It makes me cry every single time because these people are, and it's the little British people, and they're like, "Oh, no, you can't possibly be me. It's not me. I'm, blah, blah, blah." And it's just like, "No, you're beautiful. I'm here to tell you you're beautiful." And then, like, somebody will say, "This is the anniversary of my daughter's death, and I was just standing here missing her, and her favorite color was pink, and you handed me these pink flowers." That is actually one of them. This is actually one of them.
Wow.
And the guy's like, "Can I give you a hug?" And she's like, "I would really love a cuddle." Yes. And they call
Oh,
it cuddles in Britain, and
yeah.
and I'm just like, this is what you need to do with flowers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone out there who does not believe me, go invest, buy some flowers, walk out on the street, look for someone who looks like they need the flowers, and walk over and say, "I bought these and I want to give them to you and I want to share them with you." And if they want a hug, give them a hug, because we all need that. We all need
Mhm.
every bit of that. You will feel inside you. You will be like the Grinch who stole Christmas. Your heart will grow 3 times that day. I mean, it's exactly what it is. It just makes you feel so good that you took some little thing and helped someone, and that little thing was flowers. That's all part of my job as well. That's what we do. We encourage people to do that and give those things to people.
I love the fact that it goes both ways too, Jay. Like you're
Absolutely.
saying, you brighten someone's day, but you're also doing something for yourself. You get
Yep.
the same, benefits as well. So I mean,
Absolutely.
if you're feeling a little down, you could put together an arrangement and go give it to somebody, and it'll make yourself feel better and not just them. So I don't
Absolutely.
know. It's really really cool.
Cutting flowers from your garden, and it doesn't have to be a big bouquet. It can be 3 or 4 things. Or if you're going to visit a friend.
Hmm.
I have said in things before that our friends in Amsterdam and the Netherlands, that is part of their culture. When you go to someone's house, you take flowers. And the Dutch always said to me, "Oh, you're an American, you bring wine and drink half of it." Yeah. But no, if you bring flowers, you're giving flowers to them, you're gifting flowers to them, and it's a very important thing to do. This episode gets even better than this, but this is a really
Yeah.
important part of it, and I'm glad that you recognized that it was. So yeah, that little
Yeah.
opening is a really great thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was fantastic.
Okay, so now tell me about the Turnbull wood flower arrangement.
Oh, yeah. So we have this little forest preserve near our apartment that I walk to a lot, and it just blooms with all kinds of wildflowers and natural flowers. And there was one day where I was just going for a walk and just decided to start picking flowers and was like, I'm going to put together a little arrangement. And without even thinking, I was like, how many different types of flowers can I find? And, I've got like a dozen different kinds that I just kind of cut as I was walking and but brought them all back and put them in a vase and gave them to Amanda. And it was like such a nice, just relaxing thing for me to do, just to go in the woods and kind of
Sure.
pick all these things. And I thought like, oh, this is just going to be like a fun thing to do. But I remember like giving it to Amanda was even so much more special than just putting it all together. It was like totally like what you're saying. Like, I don't know, you totally get that benefit. And I remember more her reaction to getting the flowers and the feeling that I got from it than actually putting everything together. And when I started, my intention was, oh, this will just be a nice thing to do for myself, or to enjoy putting this together. It'll be kind of like a creative endeavor and a way to like
Absolutely.
get outside. But really, the best benefit of it for me was seeing her reaction and giving it away. So when you
Absolutely.
talked about all that, that resonated with me, Jay. So I really like
It
that.
is. It's magical. It's a magical
Yeah,
thing. And I don't think
yeah.
when we were first pitching our show to PBS, we go to this big event. We had a booth and we were giving away flowers. And my rep had said, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "We're going to give away flowers." And she's like, "Okay." And so we brought these 36 stem bunches. So, I mean, it's a big bunch. It's probably 18 to 22 inches across the top. And we had one to give to all the people who were there. And everybody would come in, they were like, "Oh, I don't, what am I going to do with them?" And I said, "You're in a hotel room." And they were like, "Yeah, I'm in a hotel room. I have a vase." And I said, "You have an ice bucket in your hotel room, fill it up with water and put this in it." And then they're like, I don't want to do that." And I'm like, "Okay, then what I want you to do is walk out onto the street and give it to somebody." And so my friend, one of my really, really good friends, Steve Graziano, who is a programmer who lives in Nebraska, he was like, "I don't," and I said, "Listen to me." He said, "My wife's not here. I'll get in trouble if I give him to some other woman or something. I'm gonna, be in trouble." And I was just like, "Come on, Steve, it's all good." And I have eaten at their house and met his wife, and his wife is fabulous and wonderful, and she would have never gotten mad at Steve for that. But anyway, neither here nor there. So Steve said he went up to the lobby. He was like, "Okay, this guy has bugged me enough. I'm gonna try this." So he said he walked up, and out of the elevator came this pizza delivery guy, and he was like, "Hey, do you want these flowers?" And the guy's like, "Seriously?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Of course I want those flowers." And he was like, "Wait, why do you want these flowers?" And he said, "I'm going to take them to my girlfriend tonight
Uh,
and she's going to love me." And I couldn't afford to buy these. To this day, Steve said, "That is when I knew your show was going to be a hit."
Oh,
because you
cool.
had told me something I have never heard of before, and I experienced it firsthand.
How cool.
And you experienced it firsthand.
Yes,
And
yes.
that turns you into a believer. It's a
Right.
and you know what? Here's the thing. You went into it thinking that you were gonna do something for yourself.
Mhm.
But
Right,
ultimately what you did was you did something for someone else. And
right.
doing something for someone else was even more pleasurable than doing something for yourself.
Yes.
Thus, it proves that helping others is much more powerful than being greedy or selfish.
True.
It's just
Yeah.
it's so true.
Yeah.
And I travel all the time. I say this, I said this. We were just in Washington for Washington, California to do a production for upcoming stuff. Every place I would go, I would say, "How are you? How are you doing?" And they were like, "Oh, you don't want to know." And I was like, "No, I really do want to know." And they're like, "I'm having a really bad day." And I'm like, "I'm sorry." And they were like, "You were so kind." And I was just like, it costs me nothing. It costs me absolutely zero to be kind to someone.
Mhm.
But it does cost me to be mean because when
True.
you are mean, it is internalized. Everything that flowers do for you, empower you, makes you happy and is good for you and is free. And everything that turns into mean and darkness costs you because it's all internalized and it's eating away at your soul. Probably many other things. Who
Yeah.
knows? It's so easy to be kind. It is
Yes.
so easy to be kind.
Yes.
I will get off my it luckily it is Sunday, so I can be on my in my podium top preaching this morning.
No, that's what it's all about, Jay. I love it.
Did you know flowers perform best in clean water with the precise food? Chrysal Flower Food is formulated by scientists to prolong the vase life of flowers as much as possible, and it's easy to use. I always choose Chrysal Flower Food because it feeds the flowers, resulting in vibrant color and enhanced fragrance, while also keeping bacteria levels down. My personal favorite product is Chrysal Professional 3. If you want to experience the benefits, Chrysal Flower Food products are available at their website, chrysalflowerfood.com. That's CHRYSAL flowerfood.com. And be sure to use our discount code UBloom10 for 10% off your purchase. Support the joy of flowers. The Life in Bloom Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to flower education and inspiring a love of flowers in everyone. The foundation helps fund the production of Jay Schwanke's Life in Bloom on public television, making it possible for viewers across the country to enjoy the beauty and benefits of flowers. The foundation also provides free flower education to high schools, colleges, and floriculture programs through ubloom.com, helping students and future florists bloom in their own careers. Your donation in any amount makes a difference. Plus, all contributions are 100% tax deductible. If you'd like to help us continue sharing the power of flowers, visit thelifeinbloomfoundation.org to donate today. Thank you for your support.
Well, so I did want to ask about the You Bloom Flower Power Challenge then.
Oh
'Cause
my God.
that was one of my favorite segments in this season so far. First of all, I want to know just a little bit more backstory on this, but I
Okay.
also wanted to say it was so cool to see, Chef Jenna, Kim Carson, there was someone from Donkey that was there. It
Oh,
was like
Polly.
Paul, okay.
Polly,
Yeah, so
yep.
you're like bringing back all these.
Jen Pascal. I think it was Rick Weist. So yeah, I think those
Okay,
are
okay.
no. It was the weather guy. It was Dan
Or was it
Harland. Dan Harland.
Okay,
Dan
okay.
Harland, the weather guy. Oh, we love
Oh.
Dan Harland. He's a hockey player too. It's awesome.
But
He's
it
a
was so
real
fun
estate agent.
to see all these people that you already like in your show have a relationship with. So to see them all come back,
Correct.
I felt like I had like an emotional investment in the competition. I was like, oh, I'm kind of rooting for this. I was rooting for
Exactly,
everyone, but it was just
exactly.
so fun to see them all come together.
I think Harlan's the only one that has never been on the show. I need to get Harlan on the show. That'd be great. He's so funny. He's one of the funniest people I've ever met. Catherine Barron was my host, my co-host.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So Catherine Barron from last week, from Out on a Limb with Flowers, Catherine is my co-host.
Oh,
We
right.
do this event every year for the opening of the West Michigan Home and Garden Show, which is sponsored by our friends at Showspan. We love them. We love Showspan. They invite me back every year to do it. It is give back to the community. Each one of the contestants pick a local charity. It has to be a local charity. It cannot be, the disease of the day nationwide or something like that. It has to be a local charity benefiting something in the community. And then Showspan provides the prize winning money. Person who wins gets a big prize, and then every individual who participated also gets money for their charity as well. So there's a payback for everybody. And then we encourage them to have their charity members or their people who are their friends to come, because the way you win the contest, they make an arrangement in 5 minutes, okay? That's the whole deal. That's the whole shtick. They each get pretty much identical stuff. It might be different colors, but they get a vase, flowers, foliage. They have to make an arrangement in 5 minutes. None of them are flower arrangers, right? At the end, it's not about the prettiest arrangement. It's about who gets the biggest cheering.
Oh, right.
When the crowd makes the biggest noise for that person. And it's also interesting. So what we realized, we need to fill 40 minutes for them. So we started doing a cheer off. So we get two people. We have our guest judge from the year before come and judge and give us the two runners up. Then the two runners up have a cheer off, and then our guest judge makes the decision. So it's off of me and Catherine's shoulders, so that we're not the bad
Okay.
guys, right?
Yeah.
So then they go in there. Well, now this was really interesting. I love the fact we've never done this except at this particular one, where they interviewed the people ahead of time to ask them what they were going to do.
Oh, right.
And I just think Harlan tears me up again, because Harlan's like, I'm going to do some sides and he's like, I'm talking about appetizers. He said, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm in big trouble. And what we do is we ask people to come back too. In future, going forward, fast forward, Harlan won the challenge one year. And he did not make a very pretty arrangement, but he brought his baby, and he held his baby up for cheers in the audience, and that's how he won. It was so great. So yeah, it is a really big deal. And again, in the succulent episode, we talked about donkey. Paulie is in this episode. And Paulie was a wonderful friend and a really, really great guy in the Grand Rapids area. And he passed away from cancer. And his restaurants are still here. There's a couple of grants that are named in his honor. There's an award now that they give with him. Paul was he's a wonderful man, and he was a really, really wonderful friend. And his wife and kids, we love them. And Jess, we knew Jess for years, his wife forever, and she's running his restaurant still. And
I didn't put that together that's who that was. And
that's kind of the bittersweet part about this. But
yeah,
Pascal's in this, so that's my good luck charm, who's always in all my shows. And this is how she appeared in season 1. So she appeared on this in season 1, and then the other one, she's always a guest. Let's see. And then Chef Jenna. So you will also meet Chef Jenna coming up to in other shows. She has an amazing Italian restaurant here in Grand Rapids. She also has another thing called Food Hugs, and she's been on like Mike Rowe's show nationally. She's won national awards. Wow. She does her Food Hugs is a give back program to the community. Hundreds of thousands of dollars she's given out to this community. She'll go into a place where someone's been, who's struggling, who's a waiter or waitress, and she'll tip them $1,000 from Food Hugs.
Oh, cool. Wow.
And so that's how, and then it gives recognition to the community, it gives recognition to the person. It's helpful because it raises the boat for everybody. And she's a great person. So yeah, and Chef Jenna, she's always pink. She's in a later show that's called Tickled Pink, and she's driving her pink car. She has a bubblegum pink car that matches her fingernails.
And her hair too, I think, right?
Yes, her hair.
It's so cool.
She didn't look so much like that in episode 3, right?
Okay.
When she was in the kitchen with me.
I think there was some streaking, maybe. Some pink.
But not like it is now.
Like,
no,
okay.
No. You know when you see Chef Jenna. So yeah.
I meant to say this at the beginning, but you opened the episode saying "The Earth laughs in flowers," which was a Ralph Waldo Emerson quote. Correct. And I feel like the whole You Bloom Flower Power Challenge totally like embodied that. It was like everyone was laughing and having such a good time. It was like, I don't know, everyone had such a smile on their face, and it was like the Earth laughing in flowers really kind of came through in that competition. I felt
it's funny too, because we had filmed that, and when we do the Flower Power Challenge now, there's like 700 or 800 people there. I mean, it's huge. It's a big deal, right? Mm-hmm. And that was like our second year of doing it. And so you'll notice that the seats are kind of empty.
Oh.
But by the end of it, always, when people hear the cheering and everything, that's when everybody gathers up. And if you take note of it, you'll notice at the beginning there's empty seats. At the end, it's all full. Because
Oh,
people
cool.
hear the cheering and they're like, what's going on in that corner over there? And they all want to come and they all want to get involved. And then the other thing that we do with that is Lane from Sun Valley, the tulip guy, would
Oh,
give
right.
us bunches of tulips to give 2 bunches of tulips to everyone in the audience.
Oh, cool.
So we had thousands of tulips there to give people 2 bunches, one to keep, one to give away, pedal it forward, that type of thing. But that I think also didn't end up in this cut. So I mean, that's also part of what we do with that is to have it be an outreach program for people to understand what it's like to give away flowers. That's the final part of that, and I think that's also why Showspan likes it so much too, because it gets people involved, and you see people walking around with flowers.
I love seeing you up on stage too as the ringleader, Jay, with your red carnation. I was like,
The
yeah,
ringleader is very
yes.
true. Yeah, yeah. Lion tamer, ringleader. Yes.
This
Yeah.
was Jay in his element. I was like, this is fantastic.
It is very much like that, and it's very fun, and we have a ball when we do it, because I mean, it's just and I ask Catherine every year, right, trying to say, "It's that time, for you to be my co-host," and she's just like, "I will always be there." And she always
Oh,
is. And she offers color, and she she asks them the craziest questions, and one year we did this so great. Someone was set to be I will allow that person to remain nameless because I still love them, was set to be there and called at the last minute, said, "I'm not coming."
oh,
Their charity people were there.
oh no.
So I looked at Catherine and I said, "You're gonna be a contestant?" And she's like, "I'm gonna kill you." And I was like, "I know." She stepped into that and she played for that charity. She did not win, but she played for that charity that night, and I was so proud of her, and she was so funny, and she was so good, and it was a little lost because Catherine really covers for me, and
Oh,
it was really fun. So she is a gem and
oh, what a good sport.
the ultimate professional. You cannot shake that woman. No way. No way. Never happening. Never happening.
Well, so I also wanted to talk about the Crafts in Bloom segment.
With little Amanda, well, not so little anymore, but Amanda, right. Okay.
So she was your neighbor?
Yeah.
Amanda
So
Gilbert?
those of you
Okay.
who are watching the video right now, this house right back here, that's Amanda's house. Okay. So Amanda was the little neighborhood girl who lived next door. She has a brother who's a twin, Adam, and then another older brother. And Adam and his brother and the whole family are they're very professional people. And Amanda is this little flower power, little flower child. Always has
Oh.
been. Always has been. Like, put flowers behind your ears and playing with flowers and drawing with chalk on the driveway and all this. And, she's an adult now, but precious young lady. I had asked her to come be on the show, and she has a company called Happy Henna. She went to India, was all educated in how to make the henna from the flowers and how to do all of that professionally. And then she started being a henna artist. Well, then at that point in time, she had a couple people who came in who were in the middle of chemotherapy and going through their cancer, challenge in their life.
Mm,
And they had lost their hair. And she decided if she would do a flower crown in henna on their head, it would help them regain their beauty. It was about women losing, like, she said that some women feel like their hair is their most beautiful part about them and it's gone because of the
mm,
cancer treatments. And so giving them something to remind them that they're beautiful, remind them that people are there, reminder that, they're still a human and all that stuff. And it's so important. And she actually entered Art Prize here in Grand Rapids and won one of the divisions with that. She was actually performing the Happy Henna Crowns at the Art Prize event with the people who have cancer.
wow.
It's a public voted thing, and she won her division. It's amazing, but that is the type of human that she is. She will return in a later episode, and we will talk to her. She was almost killed in a car accident in Ibiza.
Oh gosh.
They had to wire her spinal column back together,
Oh my gosh.
let it grow back in, and then they removed all these bolts and wires and everything, and she took them to someone and had it made into a crown.
Wow.
And she was like, "This is my crown of courage, is this," So she was doing an event in Ibiza, and, she travels all over the world to do this henna stuff. I mean, it's wild. And she's a little, and that's why I always joke with her. She's a little kid who lives next door. And so then, like, sometimes her mom will say, "Amanda's coming home this weekend." And I'll bring flowers. I'll go knock on the door. I'm like, "Can Amanda come out and play?" And she's like,
Oh.
just a second, I'll go get her. And she's always happy to see me. She's beautiful. She's a lovely person. She's amazing. She did a henna tattoo on my arm, which
Yeah, I
it's in
saw
a
that.
really weird place. And that was the best place that it looked to. I mean, I didn't want to have to take off my shirt. That would be bad. So
You didn't
yeah.
wanna go full back
No,
tattoo,
no, no,
Jay?
no. So
No?
yeah. And so then she did it on my arm. But it was amazing. It is amazing because there is a smell about the
Oh, really?
henna. It's
'Cause
very
it comes from a flower, right?
comes from a flower. I'm not going to remember the name of it now. Sonia, I believe, is the name of the plant. And so then they dry it and then they grind it and then they mix it with oils, herbal
Okay.
oils. And so there's a smell to it. And then you leave it on and then that's what dyes your skin and then it flakes off and then you have the remaining tattoo for a couple weeks,
Cool.
So it was very cool.
Yeah.
I loved having it. It was very good and it was very sweet. Just reminding everybody that, yeah, Amanda was also in the succulent episode because she came over for the succulent party with her boyfriend.
Oh, I forgot that was her. Okay, yeah, so we just talked
So
about
see,
okay.
as we watch these in line,
Yeah.
right, then you'll see how strangely people appear at a later date,
Yeah.
But yeah, Amanda's always up for something when I want to do
Oh.
that. So yeah, she's great. She is
Well, her
wonderful.
her work was incredible. It was so inspiring to see what she does with the chemo patients, and I also she talked about how doing henna is, like, meditative for her, and how
Absolutely.
she kinda uses it to go in this zen-like state, and it reminded me, Jay, of, like, watching you do flower arrangements, like, it's kinda this
Was
takes you out of
was her
yourself, and you're
tongue
kind
stuck
of
in a weird spot? I'm always just like, and Kelly's like, you got to move your tongue, but I'm always like, because it's this. You will
It's
always
deep,
notice that
it's
my jaws don't align. I
it's your
unalign
deep
my
in
jaws.
concentration.
Yeah, it's a concentration.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is. And I was just impressed that she just did it.
Oh, yeah.
And she didn't screw it up. I don't know. Cause I was like, what if it's wrong? And she's like, it won't be wrong. It'll be fine. And I was like, cause we have to start over and they'll have to start a different arm or something. She's like, it's gonna be fine. It'll be okay. It all comes out of her brain and her hand. I mean, she doesn't draw any of that on those people's heads. She
Right.
creates as she goes.
Wow.
She's fascinating.
Yeah.
She goes to Burning Man frequently and does henna
Cool.
tattoos at Burning Man.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
I have a few
yeah.
friends that have been to Burning Man. I wonder, I'll have to ask them. Well, I think we're getting close on time. Oh, I did want to talk about the featured flower, though, Rosemary.
So Rosemary, okay, when we talk about flowers having power, and this is why this one was chosen, there is proven research that was done by Rutgers University, Boston University, by Rutgers was the one who did the main piece of this, where smelling rosemary will activate your present, past, and future memory. And
Wow.
they are doing studies about using rosemary, the fragrance, to implement people's memory who are suffering from dementia. I mean, and there's more things happening soon, and it sounds like we're very close to maybe a cure, and that would be wonderful. I even found that with my dad. So my dad had dementia, and it was very interesting because my dad, towards the end when I would go home, he wouldn't know who I was. And I would say, I'm your son. And he's like, no. And he would go get a picture of me in high school and bring me the picture. And he'd say, this is my son, and you're very nice, but I know that you're not my son.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. So I bought him a rosemary plant because I said, if you can't remember something, I want you to do this, and I want you to smell it. And so when we would come home, I would have him rub the rosemary plant, and then I would talk to him and have him tell me stories. And the thing that I found the most fascinating about my dad was that he could recount a story from his childhood exactly, or recount a story from World War II. He was injured in World War II by a Japanese hand grenade and spent 25 months in a Hawaiian hospital. He could tell you stories from when he was a kid or when he was in the war or whatever perfectly. The other
Wow.
thing that I did with my dad too was I bought him an iPod and I put all his favorite songs on it.
Oh,
And
cool.
that's another study that was tied to this study from Rutgers, was that music from their childhood would make them be, and they will remember it and they will remember the words. You know for sure that I could play a song that was on the radio when you were a teenager and you will know all the words to it, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It lasts your whole lifetime. He
Wow.
loved the Mills Brothers, and he could sing. He would sing along with the Mills Brothers, and he'd be sitting there with his headphones on, and he'd be singing, and he'd be just like, I
Aw.
love this thing that you got me. I love this thing that guy gave me over there. He would refer to me as that guy.
Oh, Jay.
So the last time I saw him, before I went home, before he died, he took me, we were at the airport, and I was leaving, and my dad never told us he loved us. He never hugged. He was not that guy. And even like I would always, when I would leave, I would say I love him and I would hug him and he would always be very uncomfortable. It's like hugging somebody who doesn't want to be hugged. You'd be like, oh no, what are you doing? And so we had a long talk and Mom was very frustrated that he didn't know who I was. And so I went to leave and I said, thank you. I said, Dad, I love you. And I gave him a hug. He said, I know you always say that you're my son. And he said, I know you're not my son, but if you were my son, I would be very proud of you.
Oh,
and
okay.
So my dad was never proud of me, but at the end he was. And so that's okay. And I think it's, I can't imagine being trapped inside. So I will tell you right now too, I take Prevagen. Prevagen sent me a letter and they want me to be a spokesperson.
Really? Wow.
But I take Prevagen because I'm very concerned because my mom and dad both had dementia. And so it's also why I'm really thankful that we do this, RJ, because I feel like someday I won't remember. And you make me remember. And so
thanks, Jay.
I love that we remember and that we're talking about these things because I hope not, but I hope that someday you don't call me and I'd be like, hi, who are you? Hey, who is this guy? What are we going to talk about? I don't remember. But I mean, the other cool thing is that you can remember all the stuff from when you were kids and stuff. And I do love that. And I am a storyteller. And the guys this last week were all like, you tell so many stories, how these stories are crazy. And I'm like, oh yeah. So yeah, there is one coming up in our Christmas episode. So yeah, there's a story coming up. That they all reminded me I needed to tell you. So that's good.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
So there's some foreshadowing for you. But so thank you for bringing up Rosemary. Thank you for allowing me to talk about it. And thank you for allowing me to be on this podcast with you. We wouldn't have this podcast if it wasn't for RJ Poole.
Oh, all right? Thank you, Jay.
So that's important. And I mean that. And it's just like, no, this is super important. And I love that we're able to recount it. So thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Flower power.
Flower power.
Right.
This is so special for me too, Jay. I mean, I enjoy this so much and you're so much fun to talk to.
Well, thank you.
And it's so interesting to hear you go back and tell all these stories that I haven't heard before. And it's so interesting to hear. So the more context, the more I get to know you, the more fun this gets to be for me.
They would never
so I just wanted to say thank you.
You're very welcome. They would never let me tell these stories on PBS. So it's good. Thank you. You are welcome, and I appreciate it. So thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks for joining us this week on Behind the Bloom podcast with Jay Schwanke and RJ Poole. If you loved what you heard, be sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. And share it with a friend to help us spread the joy, one bloom at a time. Thank you for taking the time to slow down with us. And hopefully you left feeling a little lighter and inspired to try something new. Make sure to join us next week for a brand new episode. Thanks for being here with us, Behind the Bloom. Hey, just one more thing. If you love flowers, you've got to check out ubloom.com. It's the online home of Jay Schwanke's Life in Bloom, where you can stream every episode for free. Plus, you'll find Behind the Bloom videos, my blog, show recipes, and so much more. There's also a massive video archive, over 1,800 how-to videos, flower farm documentaries, and even my very first series, JTV. All Life in Bloom episodes, exclusive web content, and farm documentaries are totally free. Just sign up with your email. And if you're ready to dive deeper, there's a paid subscription option that unlocks the full library of how-to videos. Everything from creating bridal bouquets to centerpieces, corsages, and more. Tons of content to explore. You're gonna love it.